Hey, when I was about 3 years old, I stuck my tongue into an electrical outlet. And I remember this vividly because blue light shot out and my body shuddered and I flew backward and I landed on a pile of stuffed animals, thankfully. I looked up to see my dad, who was standing right there, and he watched me do it. He watched the whole thing. He looked at me and he said, "Well, I guess you won't be doing that again, will you?" And you know what? I didn't. I haven't done it to this day. See, when I did it the first time, I made a mistake because I didn't know any better. But if I ever did it again, then I would be a fool. Today is day 14 of reading through the book of Proverbs, chapter day for 31 days. Proverbs 14:8 tells us, "The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception." There's a lot in this chapter and throughout Proverbs about a fool, what makes somebody a fool, which is the opposite of being wise. A fool isn't someone who is just wrong. We all do things that we reasonably think are right and then they turn out to be wrong or they don't go well. But the fool is someone who is out of touch with reality. It's someone who does something that they ought to know better not to do. That's the fool. So here's something to know about reading Proverbs, by the way. There are many subjects that keep coming up at different times. You've probably noticed them already. And they constantly help define and adjust what a wise person is or what a fool is. For example, today, Proverbs 14:12, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death." Now, see, that can be true for a wise person or the fool, but you might remember that you've seen something close to that already on day 12. Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of a fool seems right to him, but a wise man listens to advice." See, it's a little different, and it means that fools are bad at making plans. They're bad at asking for advice or getting counsel, and that's one way to know the difference. Did you make a decision in your life that turned out badly? Well, were you just wrong or were you a fool? Well, did you seek good advice? If so, and things didn't work out, well, maybe it just didn't work out. But if you didn't seek that advice, then maybe you were a fool. Proverbs 14 confronts one of the most dangerous assumptions we make in our lives, that our internal sense of right and wrong is always reliable. Conscience and intuition, they definitely have value, but this chapter reminds us that they must be tested with a reality check. Where can I get good advice about this? What can be known about this decision I have to make? What am I missing? Those are great questions to ask. The invitation of this chapter is not to distrust ourselves entirely, but to recognize our limits and to make decisions that conform to reality and truth. A wise person seeks those things and accepts them, even when they don't lead us where we want to go. Wise people let truth guide them. They don't try to bend reality to fit what they wish were true. So what's your favorite proverb from chapter 14? Put it in the comments, like, follow, and share, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 15. Okay, bye, thanks.